We are live. Hello, African Ancestry family. I know you are probably wondering, who is this person? It's definitely not Gina Page, but I want to thank you in advance for welcoming me to the African Ancestry family. You should know that Gina Page is away for a couple of weeks in Egypt, but she still wanted to feature some black businesses during National Black Business Month, so she invited me to stop by to have a conversation with you. My name is Diallo Sumbry, and I am the president and founder of the Adinkra Group. The Adinkra Group is an African cultural resource company based in Washington, D.C., and our mission is to reconnect Africans in the diaspora with Africa through arts and education. So I'm very, very happy to be here. Again, I want to thank you guys for welcoming me in advance. I know you're used to seeing Gina Page again. I have to say that I'm very nervous. So hopefully you guys can bear with me as we go through this. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about who I am, about what I do, about how I've partnered with African Ancestry, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my excitement about my own ancestry. Again, my name is Diallo Sumbry of the Adinkra Group, for those of you who have just joined. So the question of the day is, why did I choose to have my ancestry done with African Ancestry? So this is August. August is Black Business Month. It was very, very important for me to support a black-owned business. So when I began to do my market research about the genetic tracing industry, and I found out that not only is African Ancestry the first, but African Ancestry is the best test company for people of African descent. I think it's very, very important for us to continue to support each other. I think it's very, very important for us to continue to keep our businesses alive. So that's why I chose African Ancestry. You should also know that I took my maternal and my paternal test. So it's such a big deal for me. I keep saying that I'm going to cry when I find out that I'm going to cry, but for me, it's the missing link. It's the part of my life that I feel like will help to complete the cycle, so to speak. It's the part of my life that I feel like will help to complete the circle. So, like I said, I went with AfricanAncestry.com because they're a black-owned business and because they are the best for people of African descent. Once I did the research and I looked at the competitors, I looked at African Ancestry, and I wanted to make sure that I was going with somebody who, number one, cared about black people. I wanted to make sure that my DNA in this age of science and a whole bunch of other crazy stuff was going to be safe. So that's why I chose African Ancestry. Now, one of the things that African Ancestry does when you take your test is they ask you, where do you think you're from? Now, I can tell you all right now, I have absolutely no idea. On my paternal side or my maternal side, I can say that I've traveled extensively through West Africa. I continue to travel, and I also do trips to West Africa, which I'll talk a little bit about later. That's one of the ways in which we partner with African Ancestry. So in traveling through Nigeria, Senegal, Mali, Gambia, Ghana, and traveling through these countries, every place I go, I'm told I look like I'm from there. In Nigeria, I look like I'm from there. In Senegal, I look like I'm from there. In fact, when I'm on a trotro, which is a public bus in Ghana, a lot of people will not know that I'm not Ghanaian until I say something, until I answer the phone, or until I talk, until I say, where we going? And they hear that American voice, then they know, okay, he's not from here. So again, for me, I'm extremely excited about finding this out. And, for me, this is not just a gift for myself. It's a gift for my children, and it's a gift for my family. As you know, when you take you should know that when you take the maternal test, and the paternal test, it traces your DNA and that family lineage along those lines. So on my mother's side, my mother's 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 mother's. On my father's side, my father's 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 father's. My family is one that has done research about at least where we come from, but as we know, most of our research stops in the 1800s. And some of us are lucky enough to find out that amount of information when it comes to the census records. So I know that on my paternal side, my father's side, my family is from Phoenix City, Alabama, and Columbus, Georgia. If your last name is Sumbry, S-U-M-B-R-Y, we are related. I'll say it again. Hello to all my cousins. Hello to my aunties, my uncles. If your last name is Sumbry, we are definitely related. Okay. Now, on my mother's side, I know that my family is from Willingboro, New Jersey. So on both sides, we've been able to trace our family back to the 1800s. So for me, I am about to connect the dots back across the Atlantic Ocean, which I think is not only going to have a physical and an emotional effect on my family, but I think it's going to have a very spiritual effect on my family. I'm happy to say that I still have grandparents living on my mother's side, and we still have a lot of elders in our family, and they will also have the opportunity to close this gap and to begin to reclaim their identity as I will. So again, for those of you who are watching this, if you have not taken your test yet, I do suggest you do so ASAP. And again, this is just me as another business owner coming here. Hello, Gina, if you're watching or when you see this, thank you for allowing me to come and talk to the African Ancestry family. So, just a little bit more information about me, about what I do. What I do want you to know is that I have not received my results yet. I've asked African Ancestry to hold on to those results, and they will be revealed in a public ceremony on August 19th, 2017. The countdown has begun, just a week and a half away. My company, the Adinkra Group, every year in the third weekend of August, we host a concert entitled Birthright. And Birthright is about claiming all that Africa has to offer for our people, for black people in DC. I have the personal belief that one of the things that's missing for black people in the diaspora is that direct and sustained connection with the mother continent, Africa. So one of the things that we do at Birthright is we celebrate African culture in all of its glory. Drum, dance, song, theater. It's a full black production, and it's about uplifting our spirits. It's about celebrating our cultural heritage. The performers that are on the stage are from the ages of 2 through adult. With our drum and dance group, Fada Fina Khan, also based here in Washington, D.C., as well as other special guests. So on Saturday, August 19th, 2017, the concert will be held at the Ark, 1901 Mississippi Avenue, Southeast, Washington, D.C. You will see everybody dressed in their finest African attire, like, something like this. I take pride in having nice African clothes and custom clothes made. You will also find yourself surrounded by people of like mind, surrounded by people that love being black, surrounded by beautiful black people, beautiful black families. And you will also have the opportunity to see some of the greatest performance that you may ever see. And one of the things that I love about Birthright is the comments that I get from people after Birthright is that they can feel the energy coming off the stage. It moves people. Trust me, if you've ever been to an African drum and dance concert, you know that sometimes people kick their shoes off and they jump up on stage and join in. So a lot of that happens at Birthright. Again, Birthright is Saturday, August 19th, 2017 at the Ark Theater in Southeast Washington, D.C. The concert doors open at 6 o'clock. Now, I want you all, those of you in the D.C. area who can make it, I want you to come to Birthright. One, I want you to see who the Adinkra Group is. I want you to see what we do, and I want you to see how we do it. One of the things that is a cornerstone for us is that we are an intergenerational company. That means that we don't put the children in the other room. They dance with us, they sing with us, they drum with us, they learn with us. So you will see, again, ages 2 through adult on stage, and you will actually see the torch being passed right in front of you. Now, at this concert, I will have my ancestry reveal. One of the reasons why I wanted to do it at this concert is I wanted as many of my maternal and as many of my paternal family to be there to find out at the exact same time that I find out. Because I want to feel, I want to see my family all around me. Like I said, it's a gift for my family because it extends just beyond me. And I want to see that first reaction. I want to feel their emotion. I want to hug them. I want to kiss them. And I want to close that circle with all of us in the same place together. So on Saturday, August 19th at Birthright, I will be revealing my personal ancestry. You know, a lot of us grow up just being proud of being black, and we know that we black, and we know that, you know, people in the African diaspora come from Africa. We know that we come from West Africa. For me, it took me 40 years really to get to this point, but it's just something that I can't shake now. I'm ready to travel around the country and let everybody know. I think it's so important for us to close the gap and find out where we're from. I know that some black people are like, well, we know we black, we know we African, but I'm here to say that's not good enough. We need to close the gap. And when we close the gap and when we make that connection, when we build that bridge, I think that the world will see our power. I think that we will be empowered. So if you want to get tickets to Birthright, you can go to www.birthrightmovement.com. That's www.birthrightmovement.com. That's where you can find out more about what we do in the Adinkra group. You can find out more about our trips to Africa. And what you'll see there is that African Ancestry is one of our primary partners. So, again, as black-owned businesses, we have to stick together. We support each other. I will let you know that I did pay for my kits. So, because people are like, oh, he got free kits, that's why he on there. No, that's not why I'm on here. I paid for my kits. It was important for me to support AfricanAncestry.com. So, because I want them to survive, because I need to make sure that you and all of your family and friends can come to African Ancestry to get your test done as well. So it's me doing my little part by purchasing my kit and helping to have everybody that comes to Birthright see and feel the emotion of my family, see us close the circle, see us bridge that gap and dig our toes in the soil. Man, anyway, I get real emotional when I start thinking about actually finding out where I'm from. It's like, I don't know, it's like finding, I guess, a long lost sibling or being reconnected with family. It's just something that does something to my spirit. It does something to my soul, just knowing that I'll find out. So I'm really excited. So African Ancestry is a sponsor. They will be there. They will have kits on sale there. Even I didn't say this to Gina. I'm going to purchase a kit. I'm going to say this right now. I'm purchasing another kit, maybe 2, and I'm going to give them away at the concert. Okay? Gina, don't be mad when you see this. I'm purchasing a kit, and I'm giving it away at the concert. Okay? Because I want more people to find out where they're from. I want more people to connect to Africa. As I said in the beginning, the Adinkra group, our mission is about connecting African people in the diaspora to the African continent. www.birthrightmovement.com. www.birthrightmovement.com. You can find out more information about the concert. You can also find out about our Birthright Journeys. Birthright Journeys are cultural immersion trips that we take to West Africa, and right now our focus is Ghana. And on these trips, we get up close and personal with the people. This is not a safari where you drive on a bus and you point at people and you point at buildings, but we actually get off. We actually walk through the markets. We actually live with the people. We actually move through different parts of Ghana. and you get a chance to get up close and personal with the people and the culture. The beautiful thing about our trips is that you're able to, if you wanted to, with your family and your friends, is to take the African ancestry test, and we will do the reveal for you while we're in Africa, on the continent of Africa. So, you know, I just like, what more beautiful place is it to find out where you're from than on the continent? So again, www.birthrightmovement.com. African Ancestry is just not only one of our partners and a sponsor of this concert, but they are one of our permanent partners, one of our primary partners in everything that we do with the Adinkra group. So we will continue to push people towards African ancestry. We will continue to suggest that people get their African ancestry test done. I've given you information about our show. I've told you just a little bit about who I am, about what the Adinkra group is, about what we do, about where you can find us. I've told you that I have absolutely no idea where I'm from. Let me just tell you. So they told me I could be authentic, which means that I could just kind of be who I am. So a lot of times I'll get questions because we have a West African drum and dance group called Fadafina Khan, who will be performing at Birthright. So people will say, what part of Africa are you from? You know, when people are booking a West African drum and dance company, they want to know that you're from Africa. So when people ask me, what part of Africa am I from? I normally say Trenton, New Jersey. And a lot of times they're like, what? There's a Trenton in Africa? New Jersey in Africa? My point is, when I say that, I know that I'm from Africa, and I know that our people are from Africa. But now, what I'll be able to say is exactly where I'm from. Oh man, it's gonna be so crazy. They ain't gonna get my family like, oh Lord, why him? We ain't gonna hear enough from him. We're not gonna hear enough from him. He probably gonna be gone for the next 3 to 6 months trying to actually find our, his great aunt or uncle or something like that. So I want to thank you in advance for welcoming me to the African Ancestry family. And I said thank you in advance because I don't have my results yet. But what I do know is that I will find out my maternal and my paternal ancestry on August 19th. I would love for you to come share and revel in that moment with me at our concert called Birthright. I mean, can I say, how much time I got? Can I talk? Okay. So, Birthright. When I Googled Birthright, all I found was information about Jewish people. And I don't have a problem with Jewish people or what they do or anything. But when I thought, if there's anybody in the world that should be focused on and that should want to have a connection with their birthright, that should be defining themselves with the idea of birthright, is African people. Africa is the center of the world. Africa is the origin of civilization. Africa is also the center of the world right now. Every country, every business, every ethnicity has a foothold in Africa right now. I just need you guys to know that if you're watching this. Every ethnicity, every country, every major corporation, every business, small and large, and families have a foothold in Africa right now. The only people who are not in Africa, and I'm saying in Africa, I know it's a continent, so I know it's a wide, it's a big place in a whole bunch of countries. But we need to pick a country. It can be the country that you're from. Once you find out your ancestry connection through African ancestry. And we need to build, establish, and maintain a relationship. I'm not saying everybody got to move back to Africa because that's not realistic. But each of us needs to maintain and sustain a connection with Africa. And for those of us that are in business, and for those of us that are starting businesses, and for those of us that are starting families, when you use that passport, put Africa in your top 3. I'm proud to say that both of my children have been to Africa at least 2 or 3 times. It's my favorite place to go whenever I'm getting a stamp on my passport. It's where I prefer to be. And if you're anything like me and you have this guttural thing about being black and about being an African person, I can promise you what you're going to find when you land on the continent is that the pull of gravity is stronger, and that you're going to find your spirit and your body centered like never before. You'll feel more grounded, you'll feel more comfortable, and you'll feel at home. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. So that was just my whole thing. And what better place and what better way to do that than actually traveling to the country that you're from with your African Ancestry results. I want to thank African Ancestry for inviting me here for this takeover. Maybe next time I could bring a drum or something like that, or maybe next time I could be cool and put on some sunglasses. We are going to provide the links for everything that I talked about in the text in the thread. So again, thank you, Gina Page. Thank you, African Ancestry, for inviting me. I hope to see some of you in the DC area at Birthright Saturday, August 19th at the Arc Theater, 1901 Mississippi Avenue, www.birthrightmovement.com. Peace.